Koundé, Lewandoski, Kessie, Raphinha. Barcelona have gotten some really shiny toys, but wait, aren't they supposed to be in debt? And they reportedly owe Frankie de Jong money. So, how do they have money for these signings? Well, that's what we'll be dissecting in this video. Stay tuned. First, it's no news to anybody that Barcelona are in a lot of debt that has been accumulating over the years. Looking at 2019, where they had 685 million euros in debt, which was still what we can call considerable maybe. But the COVID year was when it skyrocketed, a whopping 966 million euros, and in 2021, well, that's not nice, 103 billion euros. Also, Barcelona have an insane salary mass of 560 million euros, thanks to Bartomeu for that, handing out insane wages to players, now leaving others to face the consequences of his actions. But what we can keep in mind is that most big clubs are in debt. So the question comes in, why is Barcelona's debt any different? Looking at the chart again, it shows Barca have always been in debt, but they were managing it very well as it was still in a considerable range. Well, sort of. But in 2020, that is not considerable. But what caused this sudden jump in debt was COVID. Now also looking at Barca's revenue, which was also on the uprise, so the debt wasn't really an issue because revenue was increasing and increasing until COVID struck, and they couldn't generate enough revenue in relation to the debt. So, what happens when I don't have enough revenue and my debt is rising? A certain 6-letter word is the answer to that. Borrow. So if Barca can borrow and pay back later over the years, that is no more problem, right? Well, not quite. You see, there's something in the La Liga called the squad cost limit. Funny name that, squad cost limit. So essentially, the squad cost limit is the financial fair play rule imposed on all teams in the La Liga by the league itself. Let's explain what the squad cost limit is. The squad cost limit in simple terms is your revenue minus your expenses incurred and your debt paid. So let's say you make 50k a year in revenue, just an example, but your expenses are 20k and you paid a debt of 10k. What is your squad cost limit? If you know the answer, just a little maths, drop the answer in the comment section. Using the formula 50k minus your expenses 20k and the debt 10k, the squad cost limit is 20k. So this is basically how the squad cost limit works for each La Liga team. So other forms of financial fair play rules happen in the form where you break them and then you are fined or given a penalty whatsoever. But this form of financial fair play is proactive, meaning you cannot break the rules in the first place. Think of it in this format. You have a bank account, and when you spend more than the amount you have in there, then you enter overdraft. Or your friend has a bank account, but he can't spend more than what he has in there. This is exactly how the rules work with the La Liga teams. So, La Liga allows you to spend all you want, spend all your money. But if you're not hitting the squad cost limit, that is, you have positive or zero value for your squad cost limit, you can't register your players. Now, every squad has a value, and we all know how expensive the big squads can be. Now, you can think of the squad cost limit as sort of like a barrier or a limit for the cost of a squad. Think of it like this. If the cost of a squad is under the squad cost limit, you are in safe hands. But if the cost of a squad is over the squad cost limit, you might be in big trouble because you will not be able to register players. La Liga's player registration is done digitally through an application, and if a club does not meet the criteria, they will simply not be able to sign a player. This is because the player you are trying to add simply will not be added. The app won't allow you to click accept, so no registration. Now, if the total cost of your squad is lower than the squad cost limit, which we've shown how to calculate, you can spend as much money as you want. Now, if you're exactly on the squad cost limit, you can spend as much as you recoup in sales. For example, let me explain. A certain club squad cost 50 million in total, say a mid-table team, and their squad cost limit is 50 million also. But say they sell a certain right back for 4 million, this means they can only spend that 4 million on say a midfielder, nothing more than that 4 million. But if you have a very big squad like Barcelona do, and your squad consists of very expensive players, which in turn means the cost of the squad will be really high. And if the cost of the squad is higher than your cost squad limit, the rule says you can only spend a quarter of your revenue on your squad. Look at it this way. Say Barcelona sell Memphis Depay for 40 million euros. They can only spend a quarter of that, which is 10 million, on their squad. But can you actually improve your squad in this way? Not really. Now, looking at Barcelona's squad cost limit, they were in a pretty good position before oh shit, their squad cost limit is now in minus. What does this mean? According to our squad cost limit formula, it simply means their revenue is lower than their expenses and debt paid. And it's not lower by just some millions either, it's lower by 144 million euros. Now, this is exactly what happened with Lionel Messi. His salary was taking Barcelona over the squad cost limit, so they simply could not register him. Simple as that. If you want to hit the squad cost limit on dot, they have to recoup 144 million euros from player sales and revenue in general. And for them to improve their squad itself, they then have to spend more money again. So Barcelona's squad cost is over than the squad cost limit, and they need to be under the squad cost limit to be able to register players. And they do not want to sell their players too. So what do? It's simple. If I make more money, then I can enter a plus state for my squad cost limit. So they only have to increase their revenue. But how do they do this? That's where I come in. Sorry, who are you? I'm palancas. What's a palancas? Well, it's what we call the financial levers. So you've definitely heard Laporta say he's going to pull this lever, he's going to pull that lever, and the likes. These levers involve selling some of the club's assets because Barcelona are in desperate need of cash. Now, these levers are what is going to allow Barcelona to get to a positive side of the squad cost limit. The first lever is selling off 10% of the next 25 years of TV rights, which Barca have sold off to 6 street partners for 207 million euros. This is another additional source of revenue which brings Barcelona closer to the positive side of the squad cost limit. The second lever is selling another 15% of the next 25 years in TV revenue, which gives them 315 million euros in revenue as well. The final and third lever is selling off 49% of a merchandising company owned by Barcelona, the BLM, Barça Licensing and Merchandising, for 200 million euros. But they haven't pulled the third lever just yet, but they will do so when they need to. But this deal is quite a big one. Now, if the BLM is sold, they will only get 50% of kit sales, merchandise, video games, and all other licensing. So when you buy a Barca jersey, just know only 50% is going to Barcelona itself. Crazy. So basically Barcelona are broke, and these levers will be pulled when needed to bring revenue so as to balance their squad cost limit. Before, Barcelona signed players but couldn't register players because they were above the squad cost limit. But now, pulling these levers brings in a chunk of revenue which places them in the right position on the squad cost limit scale. This is also why they've asked players to take salary cuts, and when they've been owing the youngest salary, they are looking for every way to lower their expenses and increase their revenue so that they can sign more players to try and recapture their previous glory. Also, do not forget about the deal with Spotify, which was made to help combat the debt as well. The deal with Spotify was worth in the region of 250 million euros to 300 million euros over 4 years. That's between 60 to 70 million euros every year in exchange for the front of shirt sponsorship and also renaming the Camp Nou to the Spotify Camp Nou. Now, with these levers pulled and Barca selling their TV rights, there's one tiny little thing here, and that is whenever and eventually Barca want to buy back their TV rights, it's most likely going to cost more than the 207 million that it was sold for. But I guess that's just the price to pay for getting the cash upfront. I mean, that's how most loan works, I guess. I get the loan and then there's an interest rate when I pay back. So let's get a brief summary of what Barca have agreed to sell or have sold already by the time you're watching this. 49% of their merchandising, BLM that is, up to 25% of their La Liga TV rights, excluding that of the Champions League, and up to 49% of Barca studios. Now, this doesn't mean all their problems are suddenly going to vanish. No, it doesn't. But it does help them hit their squad cost limits on a year-by-year basis. So selling off some of their assets will allow them to continue buying and registering players, and that keeps them afloat for now. And then they can pay off the debts later on in the future if they are successful enough to increase their revenue. But what if they are not? Now, that is a gamble Barca are willing to take. I really hope with this you can now understand the financial situation Barca are in right now and how they are saving themselves. If you didn't understand, tell me what part you didn't understand in the comment section. And if you did, you can also leave a like on the video and of course subscribe, notifications on. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.